Hey everyone, Michelle Venus here again with you. How's it going? Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here for another chapter of our project on anatomy, costume design, and character design. If you're just arriving, this channel is about that. It's about anatomy and fashion. That's the channel's niche. If you like it, like, comment, and share, help me spread the word about the channel, all right? If you have any questions or anything to add or any criticism within this channel's niche, please, your comments here are very welcome. You help me with that, all right? And let's move on now to another video for the channel where we're going to do the character's hands, okay? Let's go. Well, as I told you, I like to draw the different body parts separately, so I'm working on the hand right now, okay? I'm just going along. It's an observational exercise, like I mentioned to you. So in the past, I used to rely a lot on geometric shapes, as I told you at the beginning of my career, but now I already have a broader perspective. Quite refined, if I can put it that way, so I go straight to it. It's an observational exercise, so I already start working out all the spacing. I start building up all the volume that needs to be there, create an initial layout. All of this here, I'm looking at the reference, okay, especially for hands and feet. It's really helpful to have a reference for us to look at so we can see things more clearly. So here I draw the palm of the hand, I draw the fingers, I add the veins on the hands here, okay, always separate from the character. Always staying true to the references, okay? Without a reference, I probably wouldn't be drawing the hand. At least not with the quality I'm achieving here or with the finger positions we have in our drawing, because there are some poses that are really hard to do or require a certain level of observation. Here I'm already drawing another hand, okay? You can see that the palm of the hand doesn't change much, so what I'm really changing here is the position of the fingers. Then, as I always do, I flip it, do that horizontal rotation, that mirroring, and then I start connecting them where needed, which in this case means attaching the hands to the wrists and so on. I make a small adjustment to the palm of the hand. I could erase, I could duplicate, in fact, the layer underneath. I could erase the fingers and use the same palm, but here I'm trying to do something a little different, not too much, because hands are basically the same, right? What really changes is the position of the fingers. So that's also very important here, right? That the character has their fingers in this position. And here we keep working. As I said, it's an exercise in observation. And then you adjust, you cut, you enlarge, making full use without any guilt of Photoshop's benefits. Obviously, if this were on paper, you wouldn't be able to give it all this treatment that we use to try to reach perfection or get to that point, to a level a bit higher than what you could achieve on paper, precisely because, as you can see, you can enlarge and make the necessary adjustments, move all the fingers or just one finger. That's really great. And now at this stage, I'm going to carefully make all the necessary connections. If you happen to watch the very first video here on the channel, which covers the whole body along with all the limbs, you'll likely notice that for every single limb I make, because I always make the limbs separately, I do exactly what I'm doing right now. I essentially redo the specific limb to which it is being connected to ensure everything fits perfectly. I always have to redo or correct something. I never put it on I never use the limb to which it's connected as is. It's rare for me to use it already done, so to speak. I always make some adjustments. I always redraw it a bit, even so I can see that connection, you know, this whole connection, not just the wrist, but from the elbow to the hand, you know, which is very important. And because of that, I'm going to try to start the whole thing over again. So I'll try to redo the entire line from scratch. Either for me to see it or even in this case to really make some adjustments. You see this little bone here that I just drew to make an adjustment to the arm, to the hands, sorry, to adjust the wrist with the hands, okay? always looking at the reference, always making adjustments, always trying to do my best, right? You know what I mean? Trying to do my best, making it as good as possible, redoing the veins, the connections from the veins in the wrist to the veins in the arm, and so on, because everything is connected. You can't leave things disconnected. You can't do things randomly just because you're feeling lazy or for any other reason. No, you have to do things properly, okay? It's okay that, as I said before, you don't need to know the names of things, of the veins, the bones, the muscles, the tendons, but you have to have meaning in what you do. You have to be coherent. You have to know how to make this joint, this connection with the limbs, okay? This has to be correct. It really needs to appear to be, at the very least, somewhat realistic and believable. And it has to have at least a minimum of coherence. You see that the wrist has a whole, how can I say, a definition there of muscles and tendons that will show. It's not completely cylindrical, right? It has its own volumes, so to speak. Little details you have to notice there. Everything is there. So always pay attention to these details, which is very important, okay? So always, you'll see me connecting. When I connect one limb to another, I go back and rework the limb it's being connected to make it look more realistic, you know? So I can feel, so I can see that it's really real, that it's connected, so I can be sure of that connection, that it fits there, that it adjusts properly to that limb, okay? Give a little tap there, a little tap on the abdomen, and I take the opportunity, and then I redo it. That's how it is. Sometimes, as we're adding a limb, making the connections, we notice other things that could use a little extra care, a fix, an adjustment, and we go ahead and do it. But that's part of building the character. There's no way around it, okay? The work of composing and drawing is very much like that. You go in one direction, go all the way down, then come back, go to another part, then another. You spot a little flaw there in the corner and fix it, and that's how it goes, and so on, okay? See? Always fixing, always adjusting the connections by utilizing the wide array of Photoshop's professional tools, which are incredibly beneficial for our workflow. They significantly speed things up and allow us to consistently achieve the high level of realism and absolute perfection that we are always aiming for in our creative projects. And so we keep making adjustments. All right, so you saw that we made the hand separately, made it a little bigger, and kept adjusting, helping out. Do that mirroring to check if the hands are really the same size, if it works, the height of the wrist, both wrists, the composition with the position of both arms. And then we keep adjusting, do that mirroring, reposition the drawing, and do whatever needs to be done to make it perfect. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of another little chapter of our project. This here is just the layout, and you saw that as I said in the other videos, don't follow that formula of making the geometric structure in cylinders, in bars, in geometric figures to do it later. No, I just go straight to the form because I've already gotten used to it, okay? But leave it here in the comments if you like this thing, more of the geometric base and such, and we'll come up with other videos and do other projects that contain more of this explanation. Put your difficulties, your doubts here. These are the first videos on the channel, okay? So we are still very green. There is a lot to mature, and I need collaboration. I want your feedback in a respectful manner. You can give your opinion here, your criticisms, your needs, so that throughout the channel we'll keep working and reach a place where it's comfortable for everyone, all right? Like, comment and share, help me with that, all right? Guys, thank you very much. Thanks. See you later. Bye-bye.